I'm making this video because I'm insane. Remember that Shall We Date and Voltage series I did a while back? Well, I decided to do something similar but more intense. Today I'll be ranking hot guys from various animes, cartoons, and video games, and there are over 600 men I will be talking about. Yes, 600. I split this video into several parts based off fandom, which there are 30 fandoms to go through. Yes, 30. I told you I was insane. And those fandoms being Brothers Conflict, Castlevania, Code Geass, Death Note, Diabolic Lovers, Danganronpa, Dream Daddy, Final Fantasy 7, 8, 13, 15, and 16, Fire Emblem Fates, Fruits Basket, Genshin Impact, Hakuoki, Inuyasha, Kingdom Hearts, Naruto, Pokemon, Tokyo Mew Mew, Ruby, Sailor Moon, Soul Eater, Tales of Zestina, Total Drama, Twisted Wonderland, Uteno Prince Sama, Revolutionary Girl Uteno, Winx Club, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pre-Tier, and Vampire Knight. As you can see, we're gonna be here for a while. You may notice that I did not include every Fire Emblem, Final Fantasy, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. That's because these fandoms are way too fucking big. This series will be over 100 parts and ain't nobody got time for that. Maybe in a separate series I will rank these characters, but for right now this is what we got. There are a few fandoms in here that I have no idea what they are because I haven't played them or watched them. I've only included these characters because I found these characters attractive. I'll be reading their bios from their respective wikis. So in the original Shall We Date series, I based attractiveness off appearance, charisma, and personality with the occasional bonus point. Each were on a scale of 0 to 10, with the baseline being 5, and then I'd add or subtract points based off traits I found attractive. But I also included some new features: age, turn-offs and turn-ons, and zodiac signs. I'll explain each of these mechanics in a moment. In the last series, there were only 5 categories, but I expanded it. The categories are now kill, avoid, friends, best friends, friends with benefits, booty call, one date, a few dates, engaged, and husbando. Appearance. This mechanic is pretty self-explanatory. The sexier they are, the higher the score. However, 1 or 0 doesn't mean ugly, it just means that I don't find the characters that appealing. 5 is like what I call a standard celebrity, the type of guy you would see on People's Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive. They are characters that are supposed to appeal to the every woman. I had to Google who is considered sexy now because I don't pay attention to pop culture. Apparently Zac Efron's considered sexy again, Chris Hemsworth, and a bunch of people I don't know. To me, they're alright, but I like men with long hair, tattoos, and maybe a few piercings. In other words, I like edgy, dark men. Charisma. Charisma is based off a few things: reputation, communication style, how romantic they are, friendliness, and social status. I'm a quiet person, so I don't get along with most shy or introverted people, so they will lose points if they were to have those qualities. Also, I seem to be into ladies' men or men who are a bit forward. I'm just weird, okay? So those guys will get points. This will also be on a scale 0 to 10 with 5 being baseline, but it's also possible to break the scale at times. Personality. Similar to charisma, this will be on a scale of 0 to 10, but sometimes there will be some deviations. When I create these videos, I have a spreadsheet with different personality traits. I like my men to be complex with at least 3 personality traits. If they only have 2 personality traits, then they lose 1 point. Any characters with less than 2 points will be disqualified. To get personality points, a guy must be kind, loyal, and protective. They can also be creative or have similar interests. I also like men who are smart and mysterious. I'm also kind of weird because I gave points based off moral alignments. I like lawful and chaotic characters. Neutral characters don't get any points. To lose points, you basically have to be the opposite of what I like. Being an asshole, being a sadist, having no empathy, and having a giant ego. I also don't like off-the-wall hyper characters, nor do I like characters with inferiority complex because I'm dealing with my own shit right now. I don't need to be dating my twin. Age. So this is an interesting topic because this is not on a scale of 0 to 10, but rather -2 to +1. This is because some of the characters are minors, but hear me out. We have to remember that some of these fandoms came out in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, so their ages will actually be a lot older if we were to consider them actual people. That being said, I will be basing off these characters off their canonical age because I don't want to do math, and some of these characters will be 70 years old at this point, which is old enough to be my grandfather. So, let's consider these characters with outdated Tinder or OkCupid profiles, okay? Will I get canceled for that? I don't know, I'm still gonna create videos nonetheless. I like guys who are older than me, but unfortunately, now that I'm considered middle-aged, most of these characters are teenagers or young adults, so I have to lower my standards a little bit. To get age points, you have to be at least 30 to 40. If the character is between my age, so between the age of 25 to 29, they get no points. Between 18 to 24, they will deduct points, and the same thing if they're 41 to 50. Characters under 18 and over 50 will lose 2 points. Bonus points. Not all characters will have these. These are just things I find attractive or unattractive, like princes, demons, and if they're kinky. So far, the only turnoffs I know are their submissive types if they're related to the church or dads. This is not to say I don't like religious men, but I just don't want to be dating anyone from the clergy. It's just, as a Satanist, I don't think we would get along very well. In terms of dads, this is the only instance I will remove 3 points because I don't want to be a mom. Especially if the kids are my age. It's just ick. All other turn-ons and turn-offs will be plus or minus 1 point. Zodiac score and the compatibility test. Not all characters will have these. These are just characters who are in good standings in terms of appearance and personality. Meaning, they have to have at least 5 in both categories, not one or the other. This is to determine how compatible we are if the character were to come to life. I am a Scorpio, meaning I am compatible with other water signs, Cancers, Pisces, and Scorpios, as well as Virgos. I am neutral with Aries, Leos, Tauruses, and Capricorns, and I am not compatible with Aquarius, Sagittariuses, Geminis, and Libras. Signs I am compatible with, they will get a point. Neutral signs will get no points, and non-compatible signs will lose points. However, non-compatible and neutral signs have a second chance, as they can even get more points than compatible signs. They will just have to go through a compatibility test. The compatibility test will be different for every sign. I've selected 3 positive traits and 3 negative traits, and depending on how many traits they have, they can gain or lose points. Unlike the personality score, which can go over 10 and below 0, the compatibility score is strictly -6 to +6 to make things less complicated. If the character comes out with a positive score, they'll most likely be placed in husbando or engaged, depending on the total score. If they come out with a negative zodiac score, they will be placed in a lower category, such as 1 date or a few dates. Categories. In this section, I will be talking about the prerequisites for each category, starting with husbando. The husbando is my soulmate. He is someone I see myself spending the rest of my life with. To be a husbando, the character must have a zodiac sign and an age, have a compatible sign or a positive score on the compatibility test, must be at least 25 years old, have a balanced total score of at least 30 points, meaning all categories must have high numbers, and must have at least 4 personality traits. Engage is the second highest category. I can see the two of us living together for a few years, but maybe he has a little too much baggage that I can't deal with. To fall in this category, a character must have a zodiac sign and or age, have a compatible sign or a positive score on the compatibility test, be at least 15 years old, have a balanced score of at least 25 points, and have 3 personality traits. Below is few dates. This is a high-ranking category, but not as strict as the other two. A few dates means I wouldn't move in with him, but we would be going out pretty frequently. To fall in this category, the character can have any zodiac sign, must be at least 15 years old, must have a balanced score, but with the personality being higher than the appearance score, and must have 3 personality traits. Under a few dates is 1 date. This is a character I'm uncertain whether or not we would be compatible with, and maybe we would go on a few more, but I'm not quite sure if it's going to work out between us. They could have any zodiac sign, must be at least 15 years old, have a total score of 15, but their appearance and charisma score is average with a high personality. Next is friends with benefits. I can see us having a casual relationship. We're friendly during the day, but freaky when the lights are out. This category will not have a zodiac sign mentioned, and to fall into this category, the character must be at least 15 years old, have a high appearance and personality, charisma can be anything, the appearance score must be higher than the personality score, and the total score must be at least 15, and this is the only category dads can go if their appearance score is high enough. Under friends with benefits is best friends. I don't see any sex in our relationship, but I see us having a strong bond. To be in this category, the character must be at least 20 years old, have a total score of at least 15 with their charisma and personality scores being high with a low appearance score. Zodiac sign will not be mentioned, and have at least 4 personality traits and cannot have the childish trait. Then underneath we have friends. We aren't super close, we might hang out from time to time, but we're not as close as best friends. To fall in this category, a character must be at least 15 years old, have a total score of at least 10 with their appearance score being obsolete, and their zodiac sign will not be mentioned. After friends, we have booty call. These are one-night stands. I hate their guts, but I just want to do the nasty with them. To be in this category, the character must be at least 15 years old, have a high appearance score with a low personality score, charisma is obsolete, have a cruel trait or something similar, and zodiac signs will not be mentioned. Avoid is the next category. These are characters I want nothing to do with. If they say hi, that's fine, but I don't want to strike any conversations with them. To be in this category, the character can be any age, have a total score of 10 or under, cannot have the cruel or yandere trait, and zodiac signs will not be mentioned. And last but not least is killed. These are characters who are out to get me, and I have to think fast. To be in this category, the character can be any age, have a total score of 10 or under, must have the cruel and or yandere trait, and zodiac signs will not be mentioned. There will also be cases where I may break the rules, as certain fandoms don't have character or zodiac signs listed. I will not be using headcanon zodiac charts because some signs are similar to others. Everything about the characters must be canon. Next, let's talk about housekeeping. In case you haven't guessed by now, this video is scripted. Kind of. I tried to do this video unscripted, but when I looked at the footage, I was just unhappy because I wanted to go in one direction, but the thing is, I would go on long tangents and would repeat myself several times, and for some reason, I couldn't do simple arithmetic, so I had to go back and then put in my computer the exact number, have text-to-speech read it, and it was just a mess. I don't want to look at that footage again. I didn't want to completely start over either, so I left the character bios untouched, but when it comes to the scoring, I scripted it. I will stumble over my words still, and it won't be as clear as the intro, but I just wanted to make these videos a little cleaner than they were going to be. This is a series that will be split into different videos. Some videos will have multiple fandoms in one episode and others will not. This is because if I split it into 30 parts, some episodes would be very short and it would give me more work to do. I just wanted to keep things simple and have 12 long videos compared to 30 short videos. Lastly, because some of these fandoms aren't dating sims, I will not be covering all male characters. The characters I will be including are main, support, or minor characters that have a wiki of at least 2 personality traits. They also have to be designed to be somewhat attractive, so you won't see President Shinra and you won't see Dosu on here. Sorry, I don't mean to kink shame, but I just want to make things as simple as possible. And in today's episode, we will be covering Final Fantasy Boys, so let's not waste any time and let's start dating some guys. So we're starting with Lieutenant Amador. I think that's how you pronounce his name. So according to the wiki, he's a humorous person. He gives advice. He doesn't have an age listed, so he doesn't get an age score. Appearance-wise, he isn't doing it for me. Like, I like that he's buff, but I don't care about anything else. So he gets a 1. I couldn't find anything about his social skills, so his charm score is 5. Personality, he gets a 9. I like a funny, sensitive man. His total score is 15. He is going into friends. Andrea is a flamboyant man who appreciates beauty, believing it transcends gender. He enjoys entertaining and incorporates flair of showmanship. He likes to vigorously train his body. While he is extroverted, he tends to be reserved. Andrea is a member of Corneo's esteemed trio, but appears to dislike him after taking interest in Cloud and upon seeing his battle prowess. He's willing to help Cloud's intention and eliminate Corneo. According to the wiki page, he does not have an age listed, so no points there. He looks pretty good. Like, I like the outfit, and he has a nice figure, so I'm giving him a 6 in appearance. Charisma, I'm giving him an 8 because he is an entertainer, so he has to be extroverted. Personality, he gets a 10 because of his liberal views, and he's ambitious. He's also kind of a rebel, as he turns on Dawn later in the series, and I like rebellious characters. Bonus points to him because he is a flamboyant man, and for some reason I like flamboyant men in my animes. His total score is 25, but I can't put him in one date because of his sexuality. Like, this man plays for the other team, so we're just gonna have to put him in friends. Angeal is a man of pride, honor, and sincerity. He maintains a serious demeanor, acting calm, rational, and stoic. He's trusted by his superiors and idolized by the recruits of the soldiers. His morals and ideas are based off having dreams and honor, working hard to attain those, believing he wields a sword for the weak, and opposing anything that torments the planet. Despite his solemnity, I can't pronounce this word, Angeal has a playful side and often teases his friends. For some reason, in the original PowerPoint, I forgot to put in his age. He's approximately 25 years old, so he doesn't get any age points. Appearance, he's really good looking. I'll give him an 8. He has a 3 in charisma because he's rather reserved. His personality is 13 because he has a lot of good traits. According to the wiki, he does not have a birthday, so he doesn't have a zodiac score. His overall score is 24. He is going into engaged. So then we get to Arden, who's from Final Fantasy 15. He's a mysterious man who is polite, and he could be sometimes suggestive, and he's really flamboyant. But he's also manipulative, which is not a good thing. He has a sense of humor, but he lacks empathy. And he's also a traitor. According to the wiki page, he is 2,033 years old, but when it comes to immortal ages, I judge by appearance age, and I couldn't find a canonical answer, and I have no judgment when it comes to people's ages, so he doesn't get any age points, but damn is he good looking. I'm giving him a 10, and charisma is a 9. Now, I haven't played the whole game, and I never met this character when I was playing this game, but here's the thing. When it comes to fictional men, I like men who are forward. This is because I'm really shy and I'm not really good at flirting with people, and I need someone who can woo me. And judging from what I read, this man would be pretty good at it. Personality, he's terrible, like -1. He has a bonus point though because of his flamboyance. Total score is 19, but because of his personality score, he is going into booty call. So then we get to Barnabas, who is age 42. Though he's regarded as one of the greatest warriors in Valispa, Barnabas is apathetic, depressed, and even bored with his position of king. While he has many loyal followers, they mean nothing to them, seeing them as means to an end, even going as far to defile their corpses to serve his goals. He does not appear to cause any unnecessary suffering, however, only tormenting those who to advance his agenda, and even treating important prisoners humanely. Barnabas is truly sought to save humanity, even being willing to sacrifice himself to the ultimate purpose and paradise to come true. So because he's a little older than me, he has an age score of 1. Appearance, he gets an 8. Like, I like the knight aesthetic going on. He's also tall, dark, and is handsome. Charisma, he gets a 6 because of his high reputation. Yes, I know charisma by definition means how well someone socializes, but in this sense, it also means how well the person is liked. Now, Barnabas is an interesting character when it comes to his personality score because I gave him a 0, not because he's a terrible human being, but he just seems too sad for me to date him. Like, we'd be going out for drinks and he's just like, life is meaningless, and I don't want that sort of energy. I'm also gonna let you know a little secret when it comes to scoring. It's very technical. Sometimes characters will have the same exact traits, but one character will have -1 and another character will have -3. The traits I listed for Barnabas is he suffers from severe depression, which is -3. He's apathetic, which is -3. He's stoic, -3. But he's also lawful and sensitive, which is +4. Someone with the same exact traits could have a totally different score altogether, but sadly he gets a 0. It also depends on familiarity or how present is the trait. The problem with this guy is I know nothing about Final Fantasy 16. I am strictly going by the bio only without looking into the section of what he does in the series because it's a lot of reading. Like, I have 600 men plus to go through. Like, I just can't do everything, okay? I'm one person. And also, the poor guy loses points because I don't like his name. It sounds like a slur you would call somebody. His total score is 14, but because he's a sad boy, I'm just gonna have to put him in booty call. So then we get to Barrett, who's between the ages of 35 to 38. He's a passionate and emotionally driven leader, caring deeply about his teammates. His energetic, rousing speeches motivate his team, those who burden to lift. Barrett's passion is a double-edged sword, and it could lead him to reckless, such as cutting ties with the rest of Avalanche after arguments. Barrett is loyal, protective of his daughter and his teammates, whom he shares mutual respect with. Barrett is older than me, so he gets age points. Unfortunately, appearance-wise, he doesn't quite do it for me. He gets a 1 because of his figure. Charisma, he has a 6 because he's well respected by his friends. Personality, he has a 14. He has a lot of good traits. When I started playing Final Fantasy Remake, I thought the character was a little annoying because all he did was complain. But he's actually a good friend, and he grew on me later on. Unfortunately, he loses not 1, but 3 bonus points because he's a dad. His total score is 19. I am putting him in best friends because he actually has 5 personality traits and fits the age criteria. Biggs is 25. He's calm, rational, and kind-hearted. He's upbeat and playful. He maintains a confident and collected attitude, taking pride in his role at Avalanche. He's prone to overthinking and becomes easily stressed for feeling guilty for his actions. Neat and tidy by nature, he prefers cleanliness. Biggs doesn't get any age points. Appearance, he looks like a standard celebrity just with a terrible outfit. He looks like a mechanic than he does a mercenary. I'm giving him an appearance score of 6. Charisma, he gets a 5 because he doesn't mention his social skills or status, and I don't remember if the character is introverted or extroverted. Personality, he gets 11. He also gets a bonus point because he likes to clean, and I like clean men. Now, he has an above average appearance and a high personality score. This is normally where I would tell you what the Zodiac score is, but unfortunately, he does not have a birthday listed. He has a birth year, but I'm only going by Western Zodiac. So Biggs has a total score of 23. He is going into 1 date. So then we get to Billy Bob, who is 22. He's laid back and unpretentious. He's easygoing and easy to consume impressive amounts of alcohol without getting drunk. This allows him to collect information of local bars surreptitiously. I can't read, obviously. Billy Bob is a family man who is an experienced member of Avalanche HQ branch. He's close with his colleagues, bonding with everyone with their mutual dislike of Shinra. For some reason, when I was filming the unscripted version of this video, I forgot to list his age. He's actually 22, so he loses age points. Appearance, despite the mechanic look, he looks pretty good. I'll give him an 8. Charisma, he has a 6 because of his high reputation. He has a great personality of 17. However, Billy Bob is losing 4 bonus points because he wants to start a family, which is something that's never going to happen between us, and I don't like his name. He sounds too much like a hillbilly. His total score is 29. He is going into friends with benefits. Caius is calm and serious, rarely displaying any signs of emotion, making it difficult to discern his thoughts and intentions. As his goals draw near, Caius becomes emotional, ultimately revealing himself as a man consumed by sorrow and rage over the centuries, to the point where he plots to destroy itself. In Lightning Returns, Caius is no longer the single-minded, goal-oriented person he has, and lost all drive, and became cynical, reacting to Lightning's word condition with spite. Caius does not have an age listed, so he doesn't get any points. Appearance, damn. Like, aside from the outfit, he looks sexy. Like, I'll give him a 9. I don't know what to describe what he's wearing. Like, if you were to ask me what it looks like, I have no words. I can't even describe his weapon. What is that? I couldn't find anything about his social life, so he remains at baseline. Personality, this guy's too much of a mess. Like, he doesn't strike me as a terrible person. He's like Barnabas, where he's just too sad. So he gets a -1 in personality. His total score is 13. He is going to booty call. Sid Highwind is between the ages of 26 to 35. He's crude but kind-hearted. His attitude, his foul language are effective him losing his dream of space flight. He remains angry over missing out on his dreams. He finds a new perspective towards the party goal to save the planet, something that he didn't care much about in the beginning. Sid speaks with a southern accent. As a mechanic and technical engineer, he is somewhat skeptic of the mystic and magical natures, but his lifelong interest in the field of aerodynamics reinforced his belief that through the knowledge of manpower, nothing is impossible. He gets no points in age. Appearance, he's alright. Again, I don't care for the outfit. Otherwise, he's like standard celebrity looking. I'll give him a 5. I didn't get that far in the game, so I haven't met him yet, and I've never seen Advent Children. I saw him for like 2 seconds in Dirge of Cerberus, but I don't remember what he did. So in terms of charisma, he will remain that baseline. Personality, he gets a 10 because he strikes me as a good person. He also gets a bonus point because he's southern, and I like accents. His score right now is 21, but wait, Sid is a Pisces, which means we're compatible. So his total score is 22. He's going into one date. Sid Raines. Similar to the other leaders of Cocoon's military forces, Raines is cultured and well-spoken, but also possesses a friendly disposition. He shows hospitality to Snow once he arrives to Lindblum, his servitude to the people of Cocoon rather than Falsey. Even becoming a servant to Falsey, he retains the trait and defies focus and tries to protect Cocoon's people. He's skilled in combat and easily parries Lightning's attacks, disarms her when the party encounters him in the 5th arc. He doesn't have an age listed, so he doesn't get any points. He is really sexy. I'm giving him a 9. I'd give him a 10, but the outfit's a little too much. Like, I like the idea and the aesthetic, but it's just a little too showy for me. Charisma, he has a 13 because he's friendly and charming. His bio is kind of short, and I can only pick out 2 personality traits, which is kind and loyal. If he was more prominent, like, he would have like a higher score, but unfortunately its bio is only like a paragraph long, so his personality score is 10. His total score is 32, but he's missing a lot of prereqs to be an engaged or husbando, so I'm putting him into a few dates. So then we get to Sid Talaman, who is 44. He's a rogue with a sarcastic sense of humor. He dreams in a world where dormants and bearers can no longer be feared. He's disgusted with slavery. He's loving and attentive father with his adopted daughter Mid, ensuring that she had a good education in life despite his long-standing outlaw, believing his daughter and her inventions would make a better place. So because he is 44, he loses points. Appearance, he gets a 7. I'm not a fan of his face, but everything else looks good. Charisma is at baseline. Personality, he's funny, loyal, and kind, which are all good traits. He gets a 12. He loses bonus points because he's a dad, but he also gains points because rogues are sexy. Like, I don't know why. When it comes to, like, D&D classes, I just find rogues really attractive. His total score is 21. He is going in friends with benefits. So then we get to Clive, who's between ages 28 to 33. He is an archduke who has become extremely bitter, sullen, and depressed. The only thing keeping him going is his furious vow to one day kill Ifrit. Clive is stubborn and is wont to bear other people's burdens. Much as Clive has been disgusted by Annabella's actions throughout the years, a part of him still does not want to wish her harm and looked away sadness and pity when Annabella slitted her own throat after being driven mad, that all her schemes and plans ended up being for naught. One consistent trait in Clive's life is his willingness and insistence to bear everyone's burdens for himself while ignoring his own personal burdens. Clive is unable to refuse any request from anyone who asks for his aid. He uses coarse language when feeling intense anger. Clive gets points for his age. Appearance, he gets an 8. Really good looking. Charisma, he has a 4 because he's a loner. Personality, the only thing that made him lose points is that he's insecure. I can't date an insecure man because we would just be falling apart mentally and it wouldn't be a stable relationship. So I'm giving him a personality score of 8. I couldn't find his birthday on the wiki, so he doesn't have a zodiac score either. His total score is 21. Placing him into a category was tricky because of his charisma score, but because it's lower than I'd like, I'm putting him into friends with benefits. So then we get to Cloud, who's between the age of 21 to 24. So in the beginning of the game, he has a bit of an ego. He's very stoic, he's standoffish. But reality is he is socially awkward and insecure. He is very loyal to his friends and he's ambitious as he strives to be a hero. Total badass. Cloud is younger than me, so he loses age points. Appearance-wise, he's sexy. I'll give him an 8. Charisma 2 because he's aloof, loner, and a bit awkward. Personality, this man's complex. Like, he has a lot of good traits and a lot of bad traits, but his personality score is a 6, and here's why. It's because of that weird scoring mechanic I was telling you about. The traits I listed for Cloud is he's stoic, which is -2, protective +3, arrogant -1, loyal +3, mysterious +1, and insecure -3. I'm familiar with Cloud, so I gave him some modifiers too, because stoicism and arrogance would normally deduct 3 points each, but because of his growth, his negative traits are a little more tolerable. He gets a bonus point because he rides a motorcycle. Did I mention I like bad boys? His total score is 16, but because of his low charisma score, he's going into friends with benefits. Kor, who's 45. He's stubborn, stern, no-nonsense military man who's sworn loyalty to King Regis. He's not afraid to oppose him, though, in his decisions of youth. And he offers advice pretty frequently. So this man's a little too old for me, so I'm deducting points. He's alright looking. I'll give him a 6. Charisma, he remains at baseline. Personality, I'm giving him a 7. I'd give him a higher score, but the term no nonsense is a bit of a turn off. I didn't get that far in the game, so I've never met this character either to give him a score modifier. He also gets a bonus points because I like samurais and ninjas. His total score is 18. He's going to 1 date. So then we get to Dion, who is between the ages of 23 to 28. He is the leader of the Knights. He's honorable, humble, kind, courageous, idealistic. His humility is legendary, and battle skills make him a beloved figure in the Empire, earning the loyalty and respect of his inferior soldiers. He manages to gain a manner of vengeance against Ultima and Abella by saying Oliver, who is revealed to him, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, he went insane for a little bit, but he's now better. He is restored. And he bears guilt for killing a lot of people, and he did cruel things, and he feels remorse for it. He's around my age, so he doesn't get any points. Appearance, he gets a 7. His face is a little boyish, but still good looking. Charisma, he gets a 6 because of his high reputation, and personality, he gets a 15 because he has a lot of good traits. He also gets bonus points because I like princes. His total score is 29, and normally I'd put him in Engage, but from what I read, he plays for the other team, and he's also partnered. If he was bisexual, I'd put him into Engage, but sadly, we will never be, so Dion is going into best friends forever. Gadot, who is 24 at the end of the story, but starts the story at 21. He is brash and sometimes blunt, but he has a soft and caring side. He can also be quite temperamental, even in confrontational at times, which is shown through his defensiveness towards Noel and how he looks out for Sarah to the point where he's being overprotective. He's Snow's best friend and right-hand man. He's very loyal to Snow, calling him boss. He loses age points. Appearance, he's a hot mess. I like the muscles and the outfit, but the hair is atrocious. It's one thing if it was muted colors, but it's neon, and I don't like the style either. I'm giving him a 3. Charisma, he also gets a 3 because he's rather blunt. Personality score, he's getting a 13, and his total score is 18. He's going to friends because of his low charisma score. Genesis is 25. He's prideful and arrogant as well as flamboyant. He is betrayed by his biological and adoptive parents. He takes pride in the figure he cuts. His fighting skills and popularity garner him. Genesis is obsessed with Loveless, which only amplifies his degradation advances. He read it as a child and began conducting research on it, eager to decipher what it means and taking its words literally, and makes it part of his personality. He comes to view himself in Jill and Sephiroth, the three protagonists of Loveless, and constantly quotes passages in a dramatic, cryptic, ominous way. No age points. Appearance, he gets a 10. Him, Sephiroth, and Gladio are honestly the hottest men in Final Fantasy. Charisma, he gets a 5. Like, if I was going by headcanons, he would get a little higher because I imagine him being quite flirty with his, like, poetic speech. But there's hardly any women in Crisis Core, so we're only going by canon. Personality, he's not a good person. The one redeeming trait is he's somewhat artsy because he likes poetry, but that's a bit about it. Personality score is a -3, but he gets a bonus point because of his flamboyance. His total score is 13. He's going to booty call. So then we get to Gladio, who is 23 years old. He's cool and cheerful with a blunt sense of humor, with I can't pronounce that word, indomitable will. He's the most outgoing of the party. He's very flirtatious, a fan of the great outdoors, and he's protective of his sister Iris. For some reason, I thought this character was in his late 20s, but looking back at the footage in the wiki, he's actually a lot younger, so he's losing points. Appearance, he gets a 10. Charisma, I like flirty men, and he's also very friendly, so I'll give him an 11. Personality, he's one of my favorite characters in the game. He's just so likable. I gave him a personality score of 17, which is really hard to beat. He's also an Aries, which means he's a neutral sign, so that means it's time to do the compatibility test. Aries' positive traits are they're thrill-seeking, passionate, intuitive, which Gladio is all of the above. In terms of negative traits, Aries are not charismatic, are hot-tempered, and stubborn, and he is none of the above. His compatibility score is 6, making his overall score 43. He is going into husbando. Also, yeah, I know the prereq is he has to be at least 25, but here's the thing about Gladio. He's pretty mature for his age, so I'm letting this slide. So this is a character I forgot to talk about when I was doing the unscripted video. There were a few characters I missed because I didn't finish Rebirth. So his bio and scoring will also be somewhat scripted. Glenn is 38 years old. He's upbeat and optimistic, constantly cracking jokes even in the midst of battle. He's brash and impulsive with a reliable intuition, acting an instinct to get himself into the squad mates of sticky situations. He's careless with money. Glenn's impulsivity also stems from his fear of being forgotten. He considers a bad rep better than a no rep at all, and will threaten violence and force his teammates to smell socks in an effort to be more memorable. In spite of his apparent aloofness to feelings and comfort others, Glenn is highly empathetic, especially towards children and the elderly. He gets points in age. Appearance, he looks like a standard celebrity. I'm giving him a 6. If he was wearing a nicer outfit, he would get a higher score. Charisma, he gets a 3 because of his bad reputation, and he's a bit of a loner. He has a great personality. He gets a score of 14 there. But he's losing a point because he's bad with money, and I'm also bad with money, so if we were married, we'd just be broke within seconds, so that's a deal breaker for me. He doesn't have a birthday, so no zodiac score. His total score is 23. He is going into one date because of his low appearance score. Heidegger is 58. He is the executive director of the Shinra Electric Power Company and is the trusty right-hand man of President Shinra. He is arrogant with bad manners, a foul temper. He is often cowardly, groveling in front of his superiors, and he tends to give half-hearted orders and brutally punishes his troops. He is close and considerably trusted outside of President Shinra since the early days of the company. After Rufus becomes president, Heidegger is treated coldly and considered incompetent, but remains loyal to the company. He's a little too old for me, so he's losing points there. Appearance, not bad. Like, he looks pretty good for his age. I'm giving him a 7. Charisma, he gets a 4 because of his rudeness, and despite his high reputation, like, it kind of counteracts. Rudeness is usually -2, and reputation is +1, so unfortunately, because of his rude nature, he gets a 4. Personality's god awful. Like, his only redeeming quality is he's loyal, but his loyalty is towards a shady company, so I'm not sure what the relationship between us would work out. So he gets a 0 in that area. Also, he's losing points because of his name. Like, I just don't like it. His total score is 9. He is going into booty call because of his high appearance and low personality. So then we get to Hope. His age is between 14 to 24. He is close with his mother, but he's rather naive, insecure, and sensitive. He is rather intelligent, though, and he looks up to Lightning to the point where he idolizes her, and, like, he finds her a role model, and it's rather sweet. It's also mentioned that he is reserved and cheerful. He is 24, so he loses some points. He looks pretty good. Standard celebrity, I'll give him a 5. If he never aged, his appearance score would actually be a lot lower, because in the picture he looks like a teenager. Charisma, he gets a 4 because he's rather reserved. Personality, 6. He has a lot of good traits, but I never played Final Fantasy 13, so I'm not too familiar with that character. I'm strictly going by what the wiki tells me. He isn't bad, he just seems balanced. He loses bonus points because his name sounds very feminine. He has no birthday, so no zodiac score there. His total score is 13. He is going into 1 date. So then we get to Ignis, who's 22. He acts as the brains of the party. He's been friends with Noctis since early childhood. He's calm and mostly analytical and a serious individual. Many of Ignis's notable traits is exemplified by his culinary expertise. He's not particularly keen on cooking, but his duty to perform and takes it seriously. Despite this, Ignis seems to enjoy cooking, taking pride in his performance, and can be offended when Impromptu states that he's looking forward to Iris or someone else's meals. He's a little young for me, so he's losing points in age. Appearance, standard celebrity, I gave him a 6. Like, I just don't care for his hairstyle. Charisma, he's a socially awkward, so he gets a 3. Personality, he gets a 9. He has a lot of good traits. He'd get a higher score, but his negative qualities is he's a little too serious. If I didn't play 15, Ignis would get a -3 in that trait, but I'm somewhat familiar with his character. He also gets 2 bonus points because he cooks and he drives, 2 things I cannot do. He's also an Aquarius, which means we won't be compatible, but let's see if he can pass the compatibility test. Aquarius' positive traits is they're easygoing, passionate, and charismatic. I can't say if he's easygoing, but I know he isn't charismatic, but he is passionate. In terms of negative traits, they're overly logical, stubborn, and lazy. Ignis doesn't strike me as lazy, but he is overly logical and stubborn, so that makes his compatibility score of -1. His overall score is 17. He is going to 1 date. Irvine, who is 17, he is a ladies' man, but he's also a bit of a loner. He has a suave but playful demeanor. He is a sharp mind and cares deeply about his group members. So he's a little young for me, so he loses 2 points there. Appearance, he's sexy. Like, I like the cowboy aesthetic, so he gets a 10. Charisma, he's tricky because he's popular, but he's also a loner, so he remains at a 5. Personality, he seems like a great guy. Like, I haven't played 8, but based on what I read, he has some good qualities, so I'm giving him a personality score of 13. He's a Sagittarius, which means he loses a point, but that also means it's time for a compatibility test. Sagittarius' qualities are they're flirty, thrill-seeking, and adaptable, stoic, distant, and impulsive. He's a hero, so I'm assuming he is thrill-seeking. In terms of whether or not he's flirty, that was a big question. I mean, he is a ladies' man, so I will give him points there. I don't know about adaptability. He definitely isn't stoic, but he is a loner, so he could be considered distant. As for impulsive, I don't know. He has a compatibility score of 2, making his overall score of 27. He is going into engaged. So Johnny's kind of a dumbass. Like, he's kind of reckless. He gets himself into dangerous situations to the point where Cloud almost kills him. But at the same time, he looks up to Cloud. He's friendly, though. He has a little bit of an ego, but not to the point where it's a narcissist. It's just like he has like a little overconfident. He's also a bit of a rebel, and he's really funny too. According to the wiki, he's 22, so he loses age points. He looks like a Ken doll, like Neon Malibu Ken doll. I'm giving him a 3. Charisma, he's at baseline. Now, believe it or not, this guy has quite a bio, despite being in the game for like 5 minutes. He is a complex character, though his personality score is a 4. He isn't a bad guy, but it's harder to get positive points because of my values. I value maturity and intelligence, which is sadly something Johnny lacks. His total score is 11. He is going to Friends. So then we get to Joshua, who is an Archduke. He's kind, compassionate, and bookish. He helps his family, but he's rather naive and inexperienced, but he is ambitious. He's also 28 years old, but at the start of the game, he is 10. No age points because we were around the same age. Appearance, if he had an older looking face, he would get an 8 or a 9, but I'm giving him a 7. Charisma, he gets a 5. Personality, the one negative trait I wrote is he's innocent, and I'm not sure how innocent is innocent since I never played the game, but his personality score is of 12, which is still pretty high. However, he loses 3 points because he's sickly, and I'm not sure if it's terminal, and it makes me a little reluctant to date him. Like, I don't want us going at it, and all of a sudden he has a heart attack, so, he's not going into any of the sexy categories, unfortunately. But I am giving him a bonus point because of his noble status. His overall score is 22. He is going into Best Friends. Kiros, who is 40 years old, he's caring and the voice of reason, and he's loyal to his friends, always looking out for their well-being. Kiros is at the age cutoff, but he's still getting age points. Yeah, 40 is the cutoff, so that's like the highest you can go and still gain points. He isn't doing it for me, and appearance, like, his outfit is just disgusting, but I like his face. He has nice hair and a nice figure too, so I'll give him a 3. Charisma, I don't know what his social skills are, so he remains at baseline. Personality, he has a 12 because he's loyal, smart, and kind, which are all good traits. Total score is 21, but I'm putting him in the friend zone. Laguna is also another character I forgot to include in the original video. When I looked at Final Fantasy VIII characters, I didn't click on the wiki and just went by what Google told me, and I assumed the name Laguna was a girl's name. But then when I looked at the poster for the game, I realized Laguna is actually a guy. So here's his bio. Laguna is 40 years old. He's cheerful, generous, and kind-hearted. He's courageous, and in the face of, especially in the face of danger. When given time to think about the danger he's in, he can be quite hesitant, but is willing to put his life on the line for the sake of justice. Laguna's friends laugh at him because of his mistakes, to which he becomes embarrassed, and he's known for his inability to talk to women, though he explains it's only beautiful women that make him nervous. So he's at the cutoff, but he's getting age points. He looks so sexy. The problem is his outfit. Like, you can't wear 2-color denim articles. Like, black, blue, pick one. That's a fashion crime, so you're getting a 9, buddy. Charisma, he has a 3 because he's bad with women. Like, I'm not sure how bad, but I deducted 2 points just to be on the safe side. Personality score, he's also has like a really good personality, so he has a 17. His total score is 31, but due to his charisma being a little low, I'm putting him in friends with benefits. So then we get to Leslie, who's like this stoic adolescent. Well, he's like 18, so he's kind of like in this flux of adulthood and teenagehood. He's stoic and calm, He's very good at negotiating, but isn't easily moved. He shows genuinely concern for Aerith's plea and is protective of Tifa. He cares about his fiance, though she's never seen because she goes missing thanks to Don Corneo. He's a little young for me, so he loses H points. He's pretty good looking aside from the outfit. Like, I'll give him an H. He has a 6 in charisma because of his negotiation skills and a 9 in personality. Despite him being like a minor character, his dating profile is pretty detailed. The only turnoff is that he's stoic. He's also losing a point because of his name. It sounds too feminine. He doesn't have a birthday either, so no zodiac score there. His total score is 21. He is going into a few dates. Loki, or is it Loki? I don't know. He's arrogant, and he's a bit of a supremacist, deeming anyone outside the Empire as savage. He's rather rude and provocative when it comes to his enemies, but he has a genuine love for his homeland and is willing to put his life on the line for it. He's losing H points, though he is quite good looking. I'll give him a 7. He has a 3 in charisma because he's rude, and in terms of personality, the only good trait is he's loyal to his country. So his personality score is a 2, making his total score of 11. He is going to booty call because of his high appearance and low personality. Alright, so we left off with Marquis, who is 17 years old. He has a boyish personality with cheerful personality. He is an introvert until he met Snow, and now he idolizes him. He emulates the way he dresses. They act like brothers. Marquis' best friend is Yuge, the youngest members of Nora. He's also good friends with Snow's fiancée, Sarah Fanon. Despite his young age, Marquis is a skilled mechanic. He is not fond of his height. His bio says he's 17, but he looks 10, but still I am taking away 1 point because of his canonical age. Appearance, again, he looks really young, like the jacket, the hair, the goggles, so no points in that area. Because I'm an introvert and he's an introvert, he gets a charisma of 3, so sorry, buddy. Personality, he has an 8, his negative quality being he's childish. His overall score is 10, he is going into friends. So then we get to Nero, who's 20 years old. He's quiet and mentally unstable and unemotional. He is obsessive for his brother Weiss to the point of worship. Like, it's incestuous. It's gross. He only maintains relationships for them as long as they prove themselves useful, achieving his brother's goals, and is unconcerned about their eventual deaths. Nero is a bit young for me, so he's losing points. Appearance, he's a hot mess. 0. This is normally a character I would not include, but because he's a vital character to the series, I left him in. Charisma, he has a 1 because he's a loner and he hates people. Personality, he has a -4. He has no redeeming traits. His overall score is -4. He is the first character going into kill. So then we get to Noctis, who's between the ages of 20 and 30. He likes video games. He is the Prince of Lucis. He has poor interpersonal skills, and he often feels alone, but he does not feel bitter over it. Accepting sacrifices have to be made. He is still trying to figure out who he is, and struggles to articulate his feelings. And his bio is 2 slides long because he has quite extensive personality. He enthuses over things he likes and has a bit of an inflated ego. He can be a bit reckless and has to be held back by others. At the time of recording this, he is a year older than me, so he is getting points. Appearance, he gets an 8. He looks like a mature, modern Sasuke, which is really sexy. Charisma, he has a 3 because he's a bit socially awkward and a bit of a loner despite his high reputation. He has a lot of good personality traits. His personality score is 11. Bonus points because he is a prince. His overall score is 24. He is going to friends with benefits because of his low charisma score. Polk is an intelligent, observant, calm, and practical young man who has a knack for assessment and devising strategies. He's dedicated to Avalanche's cause, but is passionate and a skilled player of Fort Condor tabletop game. He's close with his colleagues, sharing a mutual dislike towards Shinra and seeking company non-violently. He's good friends with Billy Bob. As the youngest member of his branch, his colleagues adore him as a younger brother. I forgot to include his age. He's 19, so he's losing points in that area. Appearance, not bad. Like, I'll give him a 6. I don't know what his social skills are like, so he has a charisma of 5. Personality, he has a 10. Like, he has a lot of good traits. No birthday listed, so he doesn't have a zodiac score. Total score is 20. I am putting him into 1 date because of his average appearance. So then we get to Prompto, who is 20 years old. He's very playful. He is really into pop culture. He's always quoting song lyrics. I never recognized the songs that he was quoting, at least not in my recollection from what I've played. He's a bit of a flirt and very friendly. He's upbeat and optimistic, though he has a short attention span. And he has a bit of imposter syndrome. Prompto loses age points because he's a little too young for me. Despite the dark aesthetic, he looks very juvenile. Like, he looks his age, but he's still pretty good looking, so I'm giving him a 7. He's friendly and flirty, so he has an 11 in charisma. He also has a lot of good personality traits, so his personality score is a 12. He's also a Libra, which means we aren't compatible, but let's see if the compatibility test can bump up his score. Libras are optimistic, charming, loyal, impulsive, impatient, and stoic. Prompto is all the positive traits, but in terms of negative traits, the only one that he has is he's impulsive, making his compatibility score a 4. His overall score is 32, but he isn't quite husbando material because I don't like childish or hyperactive men, and because of this, I am putting him in friends with benefits. Yeah, I know, I have really high standards. So when I originally filmed the unscripted video, the bio of this character seemed to have lacked all the important qualities, and I was looking back at it, and I was like, wait a second, there's no personality here. So this is what the new bio looks like. So he's 28, he's haunted by the past, and he seeks power from the Ring of Lucy. He becomes even more bitter after being rejected by the Ring, showing spite towards Noctis for being the chosen. Despite their conflicting views, Ravus cares deeply for Lunafreya and does his best to protect her. He comes to support her and her cause and finally believes that Noctis is the true king and turns on the Emperor. Age-wise, he gets no points. He is super good looking aside from the mechanical arm, so I'm giving him a 9. He's close with the family, so he gets an 8 in charisma. Personality, he's a complex character because he's a reformed villain, sort of. Like, he doesn't really change, he kind of dies based off what I've read, but he does grow a moral compass. That being said, his personality score is 6, 2 bonus points because he's a prince and he's also a demon. His total score is 25, and in terms of where I should put him, it took me some time, but I'll put him in 1 date because of his personality shift. I'm not sure how much he's changed, but I'd like to give him a chance. So then we get to Reeve, who's 38. He is the executive director of the Shinra Power Company. He's sincere and has a strong attachment to Midgar, and he has morals that contradict to what the Shinra company stands for, which kind of lowers his reputation, and he has a dry sense of humor. He's older than me, so he gets points. Appearance, I'm giving him a 7. He's good looking, but he can bump up his score if he was wearing a different outfit. He looks kind of, stiff. Charisma, I'm giving him a 6, because of the people of Midgar like him, even if his company doesn't. Personality, he seems really kind and caring, so I'm giving him a 10. He doesn't have a birthday, so no zodiac score. His total score is 24. He is going into a few dates. Regis is age 50, the king of Lucius. He believes that the royal bloodline is strong, but is deeply saddened by the fate awaits Noctis, as his son's safety is his first priority. He helps Noctis grow and shows what it means to be king. Regis has the greatest impact on Noctis' life. He wants his son to find his own path. Although he may be willing to do things that might be considered an outright betrayal for those who trust him, Regis feels guilt over it and hopes that future generations will understand his motives. He's a little too old for my taste, so I'm taking off points. But he looks really good for his age, like really good. Like I'm giving him an appearance score of 7. Charisma, he has a 6 because of his high reputation. Great personality with a score of 17. He loses some points because he's a dad and his name is Regis, which reminds me of Regis Philbin. So his total score is 25. I am putting him in friends with benefits because of his high appearance score. We just won't tell Noctis. So then we get to Reno, who is self-confident and cynical, though he has a sense of humor as he's rather witty. But he has a casual work ethic as he's rather flippant and irresponsible. He is a thrill seeker. Even though he is a little bit lazy when it comes to his job, he still does it with enthusiasm. He is willing to do inhumane acts, but he does have a little bit of morals. And he has a close relationship with Rude. So because he's around my age, he doesn't get any points in that area. If he had a different hair color and a different outfit, he would get a 9, but I'm giving him a 7. He's kind of rude, so he has a charisma of 3. Despite being an antagonist, he has a lot of good traits and a personality score of 9. I just don't agree with his politics, so I'm taking away bonus points. His overall score is 18. I am putting him in booty call because of his politics. Roche is arrogant, but an honorable man who acts like a renegade, exhilarated by the high speeds of motorcycles, and often speaks theatrically. He is uninterested in a promotion with a rebellious streak and questionable morals. He comes honorably to review with respect, helps Cloud escape, and is ostracized by many in the Shinra security forces. He doesn't have an age, so no points there. He's really good looking, but I just don't like the motorcycle. Yes, I'm counting that as part of the outfit because he's always riding it. So I'm giving him an 8 in appearance. Charisma, he also has an 8 because of his charm. Personality-wise, he's quite complicated because of his questionable loyalty, so I gave him a 6. He also gets bonus points because of his flamboyant nature and the fact that he does ride a motorcycle, even though it looks like a kid's drawing of cars with like the oval with the 2 wheels. His final score is 24, but I'm putting him in booty call because he can't really pick a side. Like, I need a man who's loyal, can stick by me. Like, if he's like constantly flip-flopping between his loyalties, then like I don't think it's gonna work out. So then we get to Rude, age 30. He is an elite member of the Turks. He's very quiet, he's very mature, he's hardworking, and he is loyal and compassionate. However, he has some questionable morals and does some terrible shit. But he's loyal to his companions, especially Reno. So he's 30, so he gets age points. He looks like the character from The Matrix, like the bald guy. I don't find bald characters very attractive, so, I like men with hair. I do like the suit, though. I'll be generous and give him a 1. I'm giving him a 4 in charisma because he doesn't talk much. He has a complicated personality. Like, his bio really hypes him up, and his personality score is a 12. But as someone who's played part of the game, I don't like him. So, I'm taking off points, too, because of his name. I also don't agree with his politics. So he loses 2 bonus points. His overall score is 16. I am putting him into a void because I just don't like him. I'm sorry. Alright, so now we have one for every category. I'm actually surprised at how balanced this is and how minimum this was. In the original video, the avoid category had like 4 at the end and like a few in kill as well. And I think there was like 3 in his Bondo, but I had to redo the math and like change some things because of how broken the system was. So this is what the score looks like so far. So then we get to Rufus. He is 30 years old. He's confident and charismatic leader. Though he's ruthless and ambitious and callous. He's also a bit entitled, but he has like a rebellious streak to him as he goes against his father's word. But he's very adaptable and sharp-witted and ready to take action to taunt his enemy.
Rufus gets age points because he is older than me. Appearance, he gets an 8. I'm not crazy about that coat, but he does look good. Charisma, he gets an 8 because he's rather charming, but a personality of 2. Like, he has good traits like his confidence and ambition, but it's very easy to lose personality points, and he's not a good guy. I'm also taking away 1 point because when I think of Rufus, I think of the naked mole rat, and because his personality score is so low, he doesn't get a zodiac score. His overall score is 20. He is going into booty call. Vegeta is loyal to the cavalry and their leader Sid Reigns and wants to free the citizens from Cocoon. It is mentioned that Vegeta joined the military academy not because he wished to become a leader, but because he wanted to fly an airship. When Vegeta tried to quit the army, Reigns invited him to join the cavalry and gave Vegeta a reason to stay in the army, and they shared the same ideas. No age points. Appearance-wise, he has a nice frame, face, and hair, but the outfit is ugly AF. Oh my god. Like, if he was wearing a nice shirt and pants, he'd get a 10, but he's getting a 7. Charisma, he remains at baseline, as his social skills and status are not mentioned. Personality of 12, he has a lot of good traits, but I cannot pronounce the name, so he's losing points. Overall score is 23, he is going into a few dates.
So then we get to Sonon, who is a ninja. He is polite, reliable, protective, and prideful. He's also serious and grounded, so he's rather mature. Though he has a great sense of humor, so he's not all serious. And he's very lawful, as he's a supporter of action and justice.
According to the wiki, he is 24, so he loses age points. Appearance, 8. I'm not crazy about the outfit. It doesn't strike me as very ninja-like. Everything else looks pretty good. Charisma, he gets a 7 because he is polite. Personality, 15. A lot of good traits. The only one I was a little iffy about was his seriousness. It's been a while since I played Intrograde, so I don't remember if he's completely stone-faced. Either way, 15 is a pretty high number to beat. He also gets bonus points because I like ninjas. His total score is 30, though he isn't quite husbando material as he does not have a zodiac sign, so I'm putting him into engaged. So then we get to Siz. I don't know how to pronounce that. There's no vowel in between the Z and the H. Anyway, he's 42. Despite being physically the eldest character in the playable party, he's youthful and carefree as well as lively. He is good-hearted and who has a relationship with his son. He is silly at times, mostly when he's in near-death situations, and has a strong sense of justice. In contrast to the rest of the party, Saza is level-headed and mature, often serving as the voice of reason and interjects his opinions when someone is on the verge of letting their emotions get the best of them.
I'm taking away age points because he's a little old. Appearance, he's not quite doing it for me. I'm giving him a 3. Charisma, 5. Personality, he's really high. He has a score of 18. But I'm taking away points because of his name, as I cannot pronounce it.
His overall score is 24. He is going to best friends because he has a lot of good personality traits.
So Cypher is a character I forgot about, so here's his bio. He is 18, he's loud and outspoken rebel. Although he's belligerent and rude, Cypher is troubled and rather than evil. He has been bullying other kids since he was young and is considered a problem child by the garden staff. He acts impulsively and rash and gets him into trouble until he feels he can no longer back out. He loses age points, appearance 7. He's pretty good looking, but a charisma of 1 because from what I know in the game, he bullies people and he's rather misunderstood. Personality 3. Yes, I know he's supposed to be like a redeemed character, but his bio isn't doing him much justice. His overall score is 10. I am putting him into booty call.
And then we get to Sephiroth, who is 30. As a soldier before his madness, he was cool, calm, well-spoken, and graceful. He is knowledgeable, especially in the subject of materia. He has a warm side, as seen with his close friendship with Angiogenesis and later Zack. After learning about the experiments that led to his birth, Sephiroth descended into madness and developed a messiah complex. He proclaimed himself to be the chosen one and has become extremely aloof, detached, murderous, and cruel.
Sephiroth gets each points. For appearance, this is like a very obvious thing. Like, I don't even need to say it. Like, it's 10. It's 10. Like, everyone knew this was coming. Love the hair, love the expression, the sword, the outfit, and the chest window. Chef's kiss. Sex god. Plus the black angel wings later. Oh my god.
Charisma, he gets a 7 because of his reputation and manners. Personality, this guy's fucking crazy. He gets a -1. Total score is 17. He is going into booty call.
So, Snow has 3 slides because of his complex personality throughout the 3 games of Final Fantasy XIII. He is 23 years old. He is an optimist who wishes to protect anyone who is in need, but he's rather naive, and it rubs the people the wrong way. He can be a little bit arrogant, as he thinks everyone is his friend. But then later in the 3rd game, he becomes self-jaded. He becomes jaded, brooding, and despondent, so he's very distant. He's also avoidant of people. Despite his despondent attitude, he remains a good person, caring for the people of Yusan and dealing with the massive chaos and fusion away from his palace. Later, he changes personality as he regains his former self. So he's a little young for me, so he loses each points. For appearance, I'm judging him by his Lightning Returns outfit, as it's his best looking outfit. He gets a 9. Love the weapon, the hair, and the face. The outfit could be a little more, as it doesn't really strike me as interesting. Charisma, because he's a loner, he gets a 3. Personality, I've never played 13, but based off what I've read, he seems pretty balanced, so I'm giving him a 7. Total score is 18, but because of his charisma score is so low, I'm putting him in friends with benefits. So then we get to Squall, who is 17 years old. He's introverted and aloof, and he does not back away from his duties from protecting others. He has a role of leadership and is well respected, and he is hardworking. All the students at Garden Staff admire him, and he was appointed by the commander of Bramd during the time of his dismarry. And then there's more. He has a second slide. Afraid of losing his feelings of comfort and loved ones, so he's a little insecure. He falls in love with his sister, Riona, which is gross. And later he becomes more social as the game progresses. He's a minor, so he loses 2 points. Appearance, he gets an 8. Charisma, he's kind of reminds me of Cloud based off what I've read, but I don't know how well he progresses, so I gave him a charisma score of 3. Personality, he gets a 9, again, because he's very similar to Cloud, where he's very standoffish and stoic in nature, but he's also kind-hearted. He loses bonus points because he's dating his sister, and I'm not really into that.
His score is 17, but because of his charisma score, he is going into friends with benefits.
So then we get to Terrence, who's 28 years old. He's kind-hearted and intelligent and a commander who's loyal to Dion, who's his partner, and he is very sensitive as he tends to Dion's wounds. He offers military advice and provides him with unconditional support. So Terrence is around my age, so he doesn't get any points. Appearance-wise, he doesn't stick out that much. Like, if you were to ask me what he looks like, I'd say he has short brown hair and a night outfit, which really doesn't give him that many distinguishing features. He also has a baby face, so I'm giving him a 2. Charisma of a 5. Personality of 15, as he has 4 traits, which are kind, sensitive, smart, and loyal. Total score is 22. He's going to best friends forever. And even if he did have a higher appearance score, he'd still be going into this category because of his sexuality. Sang, who is 30 years old. He's cool-hearted, well-mannered, and stern, rather intelligent, quiet, and loyal. He has compassion, but he's reluctant to take the Refarius mission. Like, he has almost romantic relationship with Aerith, even though it's not reciprocal. Like, he has a crush on her. I've seen the way he looks at her. It's totally hot. He's prideful and no nonsense, and is the chief director of the Turks. So Sang is a year older than me, so that's good. Appearance, he gets a 9. He's an introvert, but he's also polite with a high reputation, so he gets a 6 in charisma. However, 2 in personality. I haven't finished Rebirth, so I don't know much about what happens to him. But based off the bio, he doesn't strike me as someone I'd get along with. His total score is 18. I'm putting him into booty call. So then we get to Vincent, who is between the ages of 57 to 60 years old. He's dark and brooding, though despite his cold personality, he is not uncaring. He despises Professor Hojo for his immoral actions, and he's very quiet and self-loathing. I'm giving him age points because of his mortal age. Appearance, an 8. I don't like the golden arms, and his hair's a little bit wild, but he's definitely good looking. Charisma is a 1 because he barely talks. Personality, he isn't a bad guy, but the self-loathing is a turnoff, so he gets a personality score of 5. Bonus points because he's a vampire. Total score is 16. He is going to Friends with Benefits because of his low charisma. So we get to Wedge, who is age 20. He's easygoing, thoughtful, and optimistic, upbeat, and playful. Though he has a bit of guilt for Avalanche, as it's a terrorist group. Wedge has some self-esteem issues, as he feels that he is dead weight because of his timidness, so he's a little self-conscious. But he genuinely wants to help his friends and make a difference. He loses age points. Appearance, he's cute, but like cute in the sense of a small animal and not like in the sense of a cute guy, so I'm giving him a 2. Charisma, he's at baseline. Personality, 16. Like, I like this character and I can see us getting along. Total score is 22. He's going to Best Friends Forever. So then we get to Vice, who has a hatred towards the human world. He's charismatic and confident. He is a strong leader, but he's rather manipulative, and he's a psychopath. But he's able to work in a team, so he's the charismatic psychopath. He doesn't have an age, so no points there. For appearance, I'm going by his remake design. His Dirge of Cerberus form looks like a Dragon Ball Z character, and I don't find that very attractive. So remake Vice gets an 8. Charisma was a little bit tricky because he hates people, which deducts 3 points, but he's also charming, which is plus 3 points, so those cancel each other out, which puts him at baseline. He is a villain with a terrible personality, so he gets a 0. Total score is 13. He's going into booty call. So then we get to Yuge, who is 19 years old. He's upbeat and cheerful. Though he seems mature compared to the other members of Nora and is rational, level-headed, however, he can be a bit narcissistic, but he's fond of cats. Yuge loses age points because he's fresh out of high school. Appearance, he gets a 7. He would get a higher score, but his fashion choices don't go with his hair. It looks like a cross between a scene kid and a skater boy. Pick a theme and just stick with it. Don't do both. I couldn't find anything about his social skills or reputation, so he gets a 5 in charisma. Personality, the turnoff was he's narcissistic, and I'm not sure if that was a typo and the writer meant egotistical, because that's very different. So because of the word choice, he gets a personality score of 9. Total score is 20. He is going to a few dates. So then we get to Zach, who is 23 years old. He's kind, driven, and beaming with enthusiasm, with a short attention span. He befriends people rather quickly, and he's flirty and charming with women, and his girlfriend is Aerith. And I like Aerith. He loses age points. Appearance, he's basically dark Cloud with like more cheerful expression, so he gets a 7. I mean, look at these two men and tell me they aren't the same character. Charisma, he's friendly and extroverted, so he gets a 10. Personality, he has 11. But his setback is he's childish. I mean, he isn't super immature, but hyperactive hero characters are a turnoff for me. He also gets bonus points because he's dating Aerith. I'm a polyamorous person, and I like Aerith, so I can see the three of us being a throuple. Now, unfortunately, he doesn't have a birthday, so he doesn't have a zodiac score. So his final score is 28. He is going into engaged. Zella is 17. He never breaks down from a challenge and stands up to what he believes in. He's energetic, loud, and confident in his abilities, but tends not to think things through and overreacts. He attempts to befriend everyone he meets. He is a model pupil with interest in world events. He's close relationship with his mother and admires his grandfather, who used to be a soldier and aspires to be in his footsteps. So Zella is a minor, -2 in age. Appearance, he's a mess. I hate his hair, the tattoo, the outfit. The only reason I'm giving him a 1 is because the fan art makes him look attractive. Charisma, he's friendly, and he's also close with his family, so he gets an 11. If he wasn't childish, he would have a higher personality score, so he has an 8. His total score is 18. He's going to friends. The only reason why he's not going to best friends is because of his childish nature. Zahi, he is smug. He has an impressive knowledge of Midgar. He maintains his composure, so he's rather mature. He is a rebel as he taunts opposition, as he's shown to make sarcastic remarks and gestures towards Shinra officers. He is close with Avalanche headquarters colleagues, and he is also a pacifist, so he's rather lawful. As he wants to end Shinra's reign of terror using non-violent methods. So he doesn't have an age or a birthday, no zodiac sign or age score. Appearance, he looks like a standard celebrity. I'm giving him a 6. Charisma of a 5 and a personality of 14 because he has a lot of good traits. I'm taking off of points though because of his name. I can't pronounce it. His total score is 24. He's going to 1 date because of his average appearance. Alright, so that was ranking of Final Fantasy Boys. I'm actually surprised on how this list turned out. When I was doing the unscripted version, there were a few additional characters that were mostly in kill and the avoid categories. I ended up removing them because these characters weren't intended to be eye candy. I'm actually surprised that only one character got into Husbando, but this is a pretty balanced list. The next episode will have multiple fandoms. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.